so professional. Hi! Hey there! Welcome back. If you're returning, if you're new, hey, just welcome. Thank you for showing up. My name is Whiskey Darling. I am trying to do a, oh boy. I don't even know why I'm here. If you are returning, you might have noticed that I've taken a bit of a hiatus from making videos, which seems ridiculous to say, seeing as I only have either 3 or 4 videos under my belt now. So I don't know if you can call taking a break from that a hiatus when you barely have any to begin with. But if you are one of my 3 subscribers and you've noticed I've been sort of MIA, there's actually a reason for that. Been kind of going through a few things that were unexpected and I guess ultimately part of life. Nothing too terrible, but just something that kind of threw off my schedule a bit and kind of changed the change the path of at least my summer and possibly my foreseeable future. I'm sounding really ominous, so let's just get into it. Basically, but before I start with that, I thought this video would just be sort of a, I wouldn't necessarily call it a get ready with me because I'm not doing a full get ready. I already have a face of base on and some other primer and stuff, but I thought it would be sort of, I will try out some of the makeup that I have gotten in this month, which would be July. This month's Boxycharm box. Try out some of those products, see if I like them or not. Trash on some of them for sure. As well as a few other products that I got from last month, June's Boxycharm. And while I do that, I'll just kind of update you on my life and we'll see how these looks work out and, you know, buckle in. So maybe I should do you think I should go over the items first? This is professional, right? To just ask the camera what I should do next. You know, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you some of the products I'm gonna be working with from the Boxycharm boxes and we will go from there. The first and probably primary thing that we will be looking at is this Norvina, ABH Norvina collection palette. It's the Pro Pigment Palette Volume 3. This I just got in Boxycharm's July Premium Norvina / Anastasia Beverly Hills takeover. So I'm not really getting a great shot of that without getting the ring light in, but maybe I'll put a picture up there. All right, the next item will be this Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer, powder bronzer in Rich Amber. This also came in the July Premium Boxycharm box. Next, we got a brow definer. We'll see how this works. Already I'm skeptical of any brow products because they have their work cut out for them with my brows. We also have a mascara. It's the something Lash Bang volumizing mascara. And then I got a little powder brush, which I think I'm going to use to try to do some contour. We'll see. And then also I have this Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set Primer. No, not primer. Dewy Set not spreading spray. That is not a thing we should talk about. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set Setting Spray. And then in my base box, I got a bunch of garbage, honestly. There were only a few makeup items. I got like a skincare, a retinol thing. This is in the July base box. I got some really obscure, shitty skincare that I didn't want. I also got, something else. It's not even important. It was all, that box was garbage. The only thing that was halfway decent in that box, except for it's not halfway decent, and I will explain, is I got this Ofra Cosmetics. It's the Good to Go palette. It is supposed to be a total palette, so you could do you could do a whole face with it, essentially. But the reason I'm gonna try this, but I'm also not excited, and I kind of hope that I don't like it, is because if you're following anything in the makeup world or beauty community, the vice president or president of Ofra, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, just it came out in the past month or so, maybe a little bit longer, that he is a Trump supporter. And if you're a Trump supporter, then you probably love that. But also, if you're a Trump supporter, you're not gonna like this channel at all. Let's just say that. I am the opposite of a Trump supporter, meaning I'm a caring, empathetic person. Anyway, my point is, that's why this brand is a little because it was found on, I think, Instagram, that the vice president of Ofra Cosmetics, or president, I can't remember, was seen like at a few Trump rallies and was posted some very pro-Trump things. That might not seem like a big deal because, you know, it seems like a lot of corporations are pro-Trump. However, Ofra Cosmetics just had a whole bunch of sponsorships with people who completely disagree with Trump and his policies. You know, Manny MUA and Nikki Tutorials. They both had collaborations with Ofra, and I think they both felt a little betrayed by the vice president or president of the company being a Trump supporter, because it's totally antithetical to their beliefs. So anyway, there's that controversy behind that. I will say, I didn't really pay for this palette except for in the Boxycharm box, and you get to choose a few items for your Boxycharm. This was one of the choice items. I chose it before I knew anything about the Ofra scandal. That doesn't absolve me of anything, but I'm just letting you know that I didn't hear about this and then go out and get an Ofra palette. That's not what I would do. I was kind of on the fence of even like reviewing this, but I think I'm just gonna look at it and see what it's all about. And you know, and I know a lot of people are still really huge Ofra Cosmetics fans. I hear that their products are really great. So maybe we can brainstorm ways to find dupes or whatever, or put replacements on it. I don't know. I'm actually kind of hoping that I don't like anything from this palette, because that'll make my life a whole lot easier. But it is something, it revolves around a bigger discussion, because there truly is no, I don't think there's any ethical consumption under capitalism. So there's always going to be problematic issues with most of the brands you buy. And so then we still have to think of ways to put pressure on the companies. And sometimes a straight up boycott doesn't work. I don't know how to solve this problem. I'm just saying it's out there. Probably everything we use, most of what we use has problems or has a problematic either founder or CEO or president. We just haven't heard about it yet. That's glum and depressing, isn't it? So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna try that out, for better or for worse. I got this other garbage in this box. I don't even know what to say about this bullshit. It's called a Pen Pal Make a Mauve. It's from Alleyoop Cosmetics. Never heard of them before. And then I got a Bella Pierre Cosmetics liquid eyeliner. I can already tell you that I'm not gonna love this because I hate these bottles. And then because I needed a lip product to add to this look, I'm actually cheating and using one from, well, not cheating, I already said I was gonna do this, from June's premium box, and it's the Zoeva Cosmetics Pure Velour Lip in some color that I can't read because I'm too old. Anyway, we'll give this a shot. And then this little thing that I've already used quite a few times and I actually kind of like, it is a hyaluronic lip thing. I got it in the last premium box. Let's get started. I'm going to start with an eye look. That's kind of how I like to do it, and then work down my face. No, I lied already. I'm going to start with a brow look. So we're going to dabble. We're going to fight it out between these two. The Anastasia Beverly Hills, that has a name for itself and has been on the market forever, and apparently is a cult favorite. I've never tried this one, so we'll find out. It's the Brow Definer in taupe. And then this abomination. Okay, I'm gonna try a little bit of this just to give it a fair shake. So it has a brow highlighter thing, and it twists and it goes, it's a gimmick. It's just a complete gimmick. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It has an auburn shade. I can't use that. It has a dark black shade, and then it has this dark brown shade. I guess we'll just go for dark brown because apparently they don't think blondes need brow product. We need it most of anyone. I cheated a little bit, and I already did like a little bit of a soap brow with the ColourPop Cosmetics. It's not soap brow. It's a thing that gives you laminate brows. So I did a little bit of that just to get my terrible 90s brows to stand up a little bit and get some body. I'm gonna go in with this. I also apologize for the lighting. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's go in and see what this does. Bear with me. Okay, I will say the color is not that bad. You kind of have to use a lighter hand. It's a little bit darker, but not terrible. And it's a little soft and creamy. Now that could be good or bad. I really hate a dry brow product because then it just like breaks off in my brow and it's pointless. But then if it's too creamy, it wears off or it smudges. So we'll see we'll see. Because I have a little bit more precision with this, I think I'm just gonna do sort of the lower part of my brow and then go in with the Anastasia and fill in maybe the upper part and fluff it out. So I went under and I started to find the bottom, and it's not terrible. Just like everything in my life, I've had worse. Okay, well I think you're meant to use this one to highlight underneath the brow bone, so I'll give that a shot. I don't notice much difference, but I used it for its intended use, so let's just put that aside. And then I'm gonna go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. It's one of these dealies, so it has that sort of triangular shaped tip. These can also be either good or bad. I find if they're too waxy, they actually pull out some of my eyebrow. And as a 90s brow survivor, that is not what I need. I don't need anyone. I have to hold on to every single last brow hair as though it might be my last. So we'll see. If this starts to tug and pull too much, I'm gonna quit using it. Okay, I'm not gonna do much more with these because I'm just afraid that it's just gonna turn into just the brow show. And there's nothing more boring than watching someone put on brow product. But I'll just say that surprisingly, this went on a little bit easier, but it's a little dark. And then this seemed to tug a little bit at my brows. I'll have to play around with it more. So reviews on both of these are inconclusive. Let's move on right now to the eyeshadow. I'm going to map out kind of what I'm doing, hopefully, and then I can get into, you know, the big drama of my life. First of all, I'm already annoyed at this palette because it's hard to open. I don't like palettes this size. It's as big as my head. I don't like that. I was super intrigued by all the greens. I really love a green eyeshadow look, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to go a little bit easier and almost, dare I say, neutral with maybe a pop of color. That's not a game plan at all, is it? I'm going to go in and maybe do my brow bone with a shimmer. This is the C1. I don't know. These don't have names. They're just alphabetical and numerological. I'm going to go into the brow bone with this brow bone with this C1 shimmer. It's sort of a pale gold shimmer. And while I do that, I'll talk about what's going on in my life. So basically, we have moved my mother-in-law in to the cottage next door to our house. You heard that right. My mother-in-law is now living in a mother-in-law cottage next door to us. It's not on our property, it's on our neighbor's property. They are renting it out to us, well, to her. And the reason we have done that is because it was becoming more and more apparent that maybe she needed some assistance just with her life. And she was living about 45 minutes away from us in the mountains and was having a lot of medical problems and medical scares, and it was becoming just too hard for us to help her. Now, all that sounds fine and dandy, and it is, and you can go ahead and tell us what a good daughter-in-law I am, at least, and what a good son my husband is, because we are. So that's all great, except that one of the problems she is having is a lot of confusion. And when she isn't taking her medication properly, she has some pretty bad episodes in which she gets very dizzy, loses her balance, and worse, doesn't seem to know where she is or who she is. So that's been a challenge. And she had an episode. We moved her in last Sunday, and last Tuesday she had an episode, and my husband was out of town, so I had to deal with that. Now I know that makes me sound terrible saying, so I had to deal with that, because obviously it's very traumatic for her as well. The only difference is she doesn't know what's happening to her. I do. I'm going in with this C3. It's sort of a dark browny brick color. Look, you don't come to this channel for descriptions on color because I know like 5 words, my whole vocabulary. I'm going to go in on the crease and do that. So anyway, and the problem is if she consistently takes her medication, she seems to be fine. I mean, she has that, a lot of fallout already. Anyway, so when she takes her medication, she's fine, like I said, except for the sort of normal memory loss, I think, that comes with a woman her age. However, she doesn't like to take her medication because it has an adverse reaction in her stomach. And I won't go into detail, but it's a reaction that none of us would like to deal with, right? So she gets very annoyed with what the medication does to her body, and she decides to stop taking it because she thinks she's fine. It sounds like it's a pretty typical reason of why a lot of people go off their medication for whatever reason, because, you know, you start to feel fine and you start to think you don't need it, and then that, of course, is when you really do need it. This is not turning out to be quite the neutral look I thought it would be, but that's okay. I don't really like neutral looks anyway. So that has been going on. And on top of that, so we're trying to get her in to see the doctor to do a medication change. The last time, she's been hospitalized twice for this, by the way. So the last time she was in the hospital, they prescribed her a medication that really seemed like it would not give her the same adverse reactions and help her. The only problem is insurance didn't cover it, and it was $900. So we had to pass on that. And then the thought was, well, we had to establish a new primary care physician because her old one was in a different town, and she didn't like that one anyway. And so we have to find one for her locally. And I made an appointment, but she can't get in until next week. So I'm kind of like hoping that there's not an episode between now and then. She also sold her house, and we're also helping her close on her house. She also wants to make adjustments to her will, so we're also helping her do that. And it's all just sort of this time race between to make sure that she's lucid and of sound mind to make all these decisions, because that's very important. And then also just sort of making sure there's not another episode and blah, blah, blah. And also, I am not a natural born caregiver, so this is proving to be very hard. I don't like kids. I've never wanted kids, and now I have an 80-year-old toddler at times, so yay. The good news is that she is next door, so it's not like we have privacy. She has privacy, but the bad news is that she is next door, so if she decides to just make a run for it, sometimes you can miss it. So it's almost I feel this obligation to stay home most of the time so I can maybe catch her with a big butterfly net. Get her back in her house. I don't know. So I blended out this C3 color. I'm gonna try a brown on the lid, which is, who am I? I rarely do anything like that. I'm gonna use a big fluffy brush, which is probably wrong. Anyone who's been here before knows that I don't know what I am doing. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this D1. It's this brown right here, sort of brick sand brown, and going on the lid. I guess one of the things that is typical of Anastasia palettes, and then I hear from especially her pro palettes, or Norvina's pro palettes, is that they have a lot of fallout. They're very pigmented, but there's a lot of fallout. The other problem, there's no room to set this palette down because it's the size of a freaking laptop. This is sort of a grungy look that I didn't see coming because I've been doing like a lot of bright pastel pop looks. Anyway, so the good news about all of this is that I have been dealing with the American healthcare system, which is fantastic. Chef's kiss. No notes. No, that's not right. What the healthcare system is this terrible swamp fuck of a shit show that just only wants people to die. And if you are helping a loved one with Humana and Medicare, you might as well just go pick some plants in the backyard and then grind them down and then just drive up to Canada and actually get the medication you need. And then I don't know what you're going to do with the plants. And then just bring everything back illegally, because apparently this healthcare system just wants people to fucking die. The medication she needs isn't covered by her insurance. And if it was, it's a tier 4. Look, I have learned a lot about Medicaid and Humana in the past week. It's a tier 4 specialty drug because apparently she's a specialty illness. So it's a specialty drug, which means a tier 4 is about $400 to $500 covered, when it's covered by Humana. Without that, it can go anywhere from like $900 to $2,000 for a 14-day supply. Keep in mind, this is just a drug that will help keep a little old lady from hopefully running out into the street, causing traffic problems, potentially injuring or worse to someone else. So I don't understand the logic of preventing someone from having a drug that could keep someone lucid and not have to be hospitalized again, keep them, maybe out of hospice, or keep them from, now we're gonna have to also add home health care, probably, to this. All because capitalism. Go capitalism! If you were wondering if this was going to be the video in which I didn't rag on capitalism, while ironically still using all these products procured through the capitalist system, you're wrong. This is where I do my usual rant and remind us that there's no, until we fix this shit, we're all fucked. Anyway, so if you've dealt with the American healthcare system, please let me know. Or if you found a hack in which to fuck it over, let me know. I love this little sorbet type orangey color. Anytime a palette has a nice orange, I want to use it. All the time. All the time. Anyway, so that's what we have been going through. I'm just doing this orange on the inner corner and I actually really like it. It's probably just going to cover up that whole lower lid that I did. And I have to set this down. Let me go get a banquet table to set down that palette. Should I? So this like lovely sort of chartreuse is calling to me because I think it would match with these earrings. By the way, if you like these earrings, look how they move. Look how wonderful. You can get the exact same pair in my shop, brushviolet.com. Let's go in with this chartreuse. It's fun. We'll see what happens. If it's a shit show, well, then I will call this look the American healthcare system. I had to switch to go underneath my eyes, and this, as you can see, this little chartreuse pigment, it is not showing up well. I just think that it wasn't meant to go over a shadow. It was probably meant to be on its own. I tried to do it under my eyes, but I also have powder under my eyes, so it's just not sticking well at all. So I'm gonna have to scrap that idea. I'm just gonna do a little shimmer on the inner corner here with this D2 and call it a day on the eyes. This isn't exactly at all the look I wanted to go for, but for the sake of time and everything, we'll just call it a day on that. I would say, as far as recommending the palette, I think if you get it free in a box, fantastic. If you have to pay for it, you know, maybe wait till it's on sale. I'm gonna put some eyeliner on with this bullshit, which I already know is gonna make me very angry. And this is just like sticking a toothpick with a bunch of ink onto your eyelid. And that's not what I need to do. I accidentally went a little ham with that. All right, I'm done. I will not be keeping this. I don't like it. I kind of wish I already knew that I wouldn't like it. Oh, and it's already smearing. It doesn't dry quickly. It's getting into the corners of my eyes. I already kind of knew that I wouldn't like it, and what I should have just done is not opened it, not put it on my eye, because then I could have given it to someone who might use it. But now I've created this whole shit show, and as you can see, I had the audacity to blink, and now it is running into my inner eye, and it's probably going to cause some sort of mysterious eyeliner disease that won't be covered by insurance. This is the mascara. It's got like a little curvy brush. I'm very particular with my mascara, so we'll see. We'll see. So I'm gonna do another coat. Yeah, actually this one's not bad. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna do something now that I typically don't do normally, certainly not on camera, but I'm gonna try to contour, which is, let me tell you my issue with contouring. First of all, it's not a new thing. Drag queens, makeup artists from all over have been doing this for decades. I mean, it's not new. I mean, they used to contour back in the 1800s. They used to it's not a new thing to try to make your face look a little bit different than the shape it is. The whole contour craze that started with Kim Kardashian, we just found this out like recently. Her makeup artist just came out and said that one picture that they released in like the early aughts where she had the crazy just like highlight and contour all over her face. If I can find a picture, I'll put it here. That was a joke. He said that was a joke. It was supposed to be sort of a Instagram stunt. And then the whole world just went bonkers and decided that we all needed to do that. The other thing that I don't love about this obsession with contouring is it's sort of dictating what our faces, what is a pretty shape for a face and what isn't. It's telling you that if you don't have defined cheekbones or a defined jaw, you're not pretty. And that's fucking bullshit. So this pressure to have something that you are, that just says, not only you're not pretty if you weren't born with this, but you're also not pretty if you don't try to make it look like you were born with that. And that, to me, is really shitty. That being said, I'm going to try to contour in some cheekbones. I will say, I'm not mad at the shade of this contour. I've got to blend this a little bit more though, because that's bonkers. You know, they were contouring in the 80s. They contoured with blush, and I actually liked that one, the 80s blush contour, where it was just like red coming down, because it was so obvious that it was makeup that there was no like sort of like, I don't know. Because there's also this thing with contour where contour was never meant to look natural. Like it was meant for like on stage and, you know, in photographs and stuff. And now we're supposed to contour for every day and make it look seamless. You don't want anyone to see your contour. God forbid. But you better contour. And so I think that whole thing is bullshit. I'm not by any means saying that like we should be, that makeup has to look natural. I don't know. Well, I've already done this sort of contour and I will say, I will probably keep this bronzer around. So far, so good. And if I ever want to do something slightly contoury, or if I'm, as I mentioned in past videos, I'm a semi-retired burlesque performer. And so that is when I will do sort of a more contour look. And so this would be a good stage contour. It's actually a decent everyday contour if that's what you're into. I'm probably going to go back over this with a little bit of setting powder because it's fine. I'm onto this Ofer Cosmetics thingy. So far, I did try this highlighter. I actually kind of like it. It's apparently their best-selling one. It's called All the Lights. Whatever. I'm going to go in, I guess, with this blush. Well, this blush is bullshit, I'll tell you that. I'm gonna do a little bit of the 80s high blush because I was talking about it, and why not? Oh, it looks a lot more vibrant in the camera, as always. Do you like how I do that every time? Like this new discovery, like oh, it's so much darker in the camera every time. It happens every time. Oh, I actually like that. You know, I do like this stupid highlighter, and I like it because you can kind of go, you can get all the colors or just focus on one. I will say that this palette is all right. I have better highlighters. It's good. I will say that this was a pleasant surprise. I will definitely be using this. This I like. I will use it again. I don't know if I would buy it full price. So for cosmetics, you know, they did say that the CEO stepped down, or the guy stepped down, I think, but that doesn't mean he's still not making money from the company. So until someone steps down and stops making money, that's the only time I feel comfortable when a brand has, you know, got rid of their bad egg. Case in point, Kat Von D, well, what is now KVD Cosmetics, used to be Kat Von D Cosmetics. They severed all ties with her. She doesn't receive any money from KVD. So I feel okay about buying products now. If you don't know the whole KVD saga, pretty much she's anti-vaxxer, might be married to a Nazi, was definitely dating a Nazi before. So anyway, she just is like a whole bunch of problematic shit right there. Anyway, but my point is she is no longer getting any sort of money from the brand. That's my understanding. So I feel okay about maybe buying stuff from them, and they've done some decent products since she was ousted. But I don't know if it's the same with this Ofra thing. So I think we have to wait and see. And if, you know, if he's not getting money from the company anymore, because the company came out and they're like, we do not agree with his viewpoint. Okay, I'm gonna do a lip really quick. I like this. I got this Hyaluronic Lip Serum in my June Boxycharm premium box. I don't know that it's the most, like, it's supposed to be a replenishing lip serum. I don't know that it's the most replenishing, but I will say I noticed that it makes a great lip primer. All right, this is the Zoeva Pure Velour lip product. I tried this once before and I actually kind of liked it, and I think that the texture, if you're familiar with the Kaleidos Cloud Paint lips, this reminds me of that, and I really like the Kaleidos Cloud Paint lip products, but I wish that they had more shades. So this is similar to that, in my opinion. It's definitely a matte lip, so if you're looking for something that's glossier, I know that we're getting into gloss girl summer right now. This color is really pretty, and I really do like this texture. If you are still into a matte lip, which I am, I like it. Okay, the last one is this setting spray, which I was like, I got this one, and it's so funny because it's dewy set. I have such oily skin that the last thing I want is anything dewy. However, I'm going to use it today, A, because I want to try it for you. I love you. And B, my skin is a little bit dry right now, so this might be the only good time to try this. I tried it a little bit on my hand before I filmed this, and it's got like gold glitter in it, which I was not expecting. And you might say, why weren't you expecting that when this whole bottle looks like the bottom of Bianca Jagger's shoe after she leaves Studio 54? And I'll tell you that I didn't think it would be glittery because I'm not smart. I don't look at context clues and pick things up. So let's put this on. It's got a really, really, really nice mister. My favorite setting spray is the Skindinavia setting spray, and I love their product, but I don't like their mister, and this is really good. I don't like their mister. That sounds like, I sound like a lady in a 1930s film, like talking about another lady's husband or boyfriend. Well, I don't like your mister. Have I pointed out that I've only been hanging out with an 80-year-old woman the last few weeks? So, okay, this is the look. So anyways, that was, you know, I realized that I realized that I only have like 3 or 4 videos out, and then on this video I just like dive into like, so here's what's going on in my life. Like, that is like when you meet someone and they seem really cool, and like maybe you have like a coffee with them, or you meet a new friend or something, and you're like, oh, they're pretty cool, like, and you like go to meet for coffee or something, and then you meet up again, and then like all of a sudden they're just like, ah, and they have all this drama and they just like pour it all on you. I feel like that's what I just did to you all, and I apologize. But I just kind of wanted to explain why I've been MIA, if anyone's noticed, and you know, these are the things that impact our lives, so we got to talk about them, right? And if it helps, or if anyone else is in the same situation, if that helps, great. If they have any advice, even better, because I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, hey, if you like this video, let me know, leave a comment. If you hated this video, go ahead and let me know, leave a comment. I'm not gonna like that, but you can do that. Any suggestions about my life, what you want me to try next, anything. If you, like I said, if you want to get these earrings or another pair of wacky mobile earrings, you can go to my online store, which is brashviolet.com. Go ahead and subscribe to this video if you will. That would be great. And hit this little notification bell, ring that bell. And you can find out when I have new videos. And if you have stumbled upon this for the first time, go ahead and check out my other videos. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Why did the mother-in-law cross the road? Because she thought it was a boundary.